So now I'm going to actually take these 25 slips out of this bucket where they're barely fitting, put them in this old dirty bucket where I can carry them around and plant them easier. And we'll just transfer the water in there. Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the back garden yard. Today we are looking at sweet potatoes. I've done 3 parts of a series of how to grow 100 sweet potatoes from one. And all these sweet potatoes that you're seeing right here, both rows came from one plant, one sweet potato that I planted. And so now they are running, they're coming over here into my okra. They are running up into the corn. So what I've got to do is I have got to cut the ends off of some of them. And of course, I want to show you something. So where this sweet potato right here has come out of the ground, we're going to pull it up. And as you can see, it has made roots there, and it has made roots here and all the way to there, and this and here, there is where it came out of the ground. So here's another part of it, and there's roots there. And I'm going to show you, if I can, all the slips that came from this one sweet potato plant, one sweet potato slip that I planted. So let's just try picking them all up. So all of these vines came from this one spot that I planted, one slip right here. And that, here's living proof of it. Okay, so why did I pull those out of the ground? Well, the reason is simple, because what you want is to make sure that all these slips that are taking root in the ground here, if they do that, they're going to take energy away from this particular spot where we want sweet potatoes growing down here in the ground, right here where I planted them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each of these and I'm going to cut off several of the slips, about 2 feet of each one. And then, of course, if I wanted more slips, I could put these into some water and root them more, because you can see where the new slip is coming. And I'm going to do that because I may go ahead and plant more slips into the corn, into the bottom of the corn row, because it will be gone in a little over a month. So that's what I'm up to. Okay, so here's the first one, and so I'm going to go ahead, and you can see where this little root's coming out. So I will cut this one right under there, and then I can cut here, and I can cut here, and I will put this into my bottle of collected rainwater. So what I'm going to do is the same thing that I did to this plant. Now, if you want to look at this plant again, we can see right there is where the original slip was put into the ground, and all this foliage came to it. So I'm going to do that with all these plants. Now, I probably won't save slips from all these plants because I don't need that many. But what I'm going to do is where I've already got the mounded dirt over there. Is first of all, I'm going to get rid of those weeds, and I'll be pulling those slips back out of that area there. And then what I will do is I will plant slips right in between the corn, because the corn is going to come up in July. About the first week or two in July, it'll be already mature. So at that point, I'll harvest it and pull up the stalks, and then there'll be another row of sweet potatoes from this original one sweet potato. So let me get with it, and I will show you the results when I finish. So okay folks, now I am standing in the sweet potato rows, and as you can see, you can actually see the rows again. So I've gone through and I've tried to pull up the vines that were making roots like these right here, and then I cut slips off the end. But then of course I don't need that many slips. You could literally cut this section and this section here out, and you would have a slip you could put in the ground. Another one right here, but I don't need them, but I do want them out of the ground. So what I've done is where the original slips were, which is right here, I've pulled all the roots out so that the potatoes now are going to make the roots from the original planting. And that's what this place here is. See if I can show it to you. So this is the original planting right here, and so the same thing here. And we don't want all those vines making roots running along the ground, because they will not make sweet potatoes. Let me stress that again. Where these vines have rooted, they will not make sweet potatoes under this vine here. So you want to pull these up. That way all the energy from the plant's leaves that they're going to be making is going to go down into the bottom of the roots from the original place you planted. And that's the way sweet potatoes work. So you can see I've pulled them up. They're in the air. They're upside down. The plants don't care. I promise you. By tomorrow everything will be back upright and they'll be growing again. So here are the sweet potato slips that I cut out of the sweet potato patch when I was thinning them, and we can see that they are very healthy here. They're soaking in rainwater, growing roots, and I'm going to be putting them out into the corn patch so that when the corn is done, these sweet potatoes can take over, and the soil is already mounded, so it'll be very easy for them to grow and grow some more potatoes. So that is what's going on here, and we'll be back and show these when we're ready to plant in just a few days. So it's now June the 4th, and we're going to take a look at these sweet potatoes that we harvested to root. and then I'll get them up. We'll take them out and actually just look at them, and then I'm gonna go plant them. And that's what we're doing now. And as you can see in there, there are plenty of roots, but let's take them out and see how they look. I'll take them out all at once if I can. I can't, there's so many roots, they got to come out individually. Here we go. So there's the first one, the fourth one, and the fifth one. And you can see the roots are right where we want them to be. So we've got 5 slips there. All right, there's number 6. You can see these were the original roots I pulled out of the ground. These are the new roots that have come out, the white ones. Potato patch. 25 more. So here we go. Let's go over to the garden and plant them. Okay, so I'm just going to take this edger and just literally put it straight down, trying not to disturb the corn. Pull it back and forth a little, and that's the way I'm making the spots. So now I'm going to actually take these 25 slips out of this bucket where they're barely fitting, put them in this old dirty bucket where I can carry them around and plant them easier, and we'll just transfer the water in there. There we go. Take one like this, open up my little hole as deep as I can, and put these roots down there as deep as they'll go across the hole. There we go, like that. Fill it back in, pack it down just a little, and that one is planted, and that's all we do. Do a couple more, then I'll show it at the end. Okay, got a nice wide long hole here. Take this slip here and plant it in there like this. It okay, and plant it in there like that, deep as it'll go. Cover it up. Okay, and of course you would want to water these immediately. It's supposed to rain within the next hour, so I'm not going to water them yet in case it does go ahead and rain. And let me go ahead now, and I'm going to plant the rest of them, and we'll take a look at them. So now we're going to take a look at the planted potato slips. They look just like this in the corn. And of course I'm not going to go down and show you all of them, but there's one, and there's one, here's one, over here's one, and of course I showed you the roots that are on them, so we know they're rooted. If it doesn't rain in the next hour or so, I'll come out here and water them. But this is what we've done, and we've got 25 more planted potato slips out here in the corn. And once again, when the corn is gone in a month, then these will mature and they will not make as big a sweet potatoes as these over here, the originals. They will not do that, but they will still make nice harvestable eating size sweet potatoes. Now what I need to keep doing over here, and I can take this wire down at any point, is I need to continue pulling these out and letting them run along each other, and that way then I can weed this row. But that's what I will continue to do, is to go down the road and take this off. I don't need any more slips, but every now and then we will take some stems and some leaves to eat, and during the growing season. And so that is the plan, is to keep going down these rows on both sides and just let the sweet potatoes run up and down the rows. And then I'll do the same thing with the corn over there. And I hope you have enjoyed this video. This has been a very good series on growing sweet potatoes, and the next video I do is actually going to be the harvest of the sweet potatoes, and so that'll probably be in late September, maybe early October. I'll actually harvest these sweet potatoes and I will show them then. So this is what the rows look like once I've actually cleared them out some, and I'll do the same thing over here to keep them out of the okra. Okay, so if you have enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. That way you'll be notified when part 5, the harvest, comes out. And thank you for watching.